Hello and welcome to the Zeta Engineering Group's demo series. I'm your host, Tony Archer, the CTO of Zeta. And today we're going to be reviewing the terminal script that we've created called Git Aware Terminal. And it's something that you can add to your bash profile that'll change your prompt in the terminal. So here we are in our terminal. And we're going to go ahead and move to a directory that I've created for the purposes of this demo. Once we've done that, we're going to go ahead. First of all, there's nothing in there. We're going to do a git clone, and then the path to the repository that we want to clone into this directory. It's going to be called Dojo Rules. So now we can check. Sure enough, there it is. Let's go ahead and move into it. And now we're inside it, and you'll notice that we have an addition to our prompt that flags it as a Git enabled directory. So now that we have this Git enabled directory, we can also tell what branch we're on. So this symbol indicates that there's a branch and it's called master. Now, all of this stuff that we're going to be showing today, it's nothing fancy. It's just a shortcut, and it allows you shortcut to a lot of information that you'd normally be able to get by doing commands like git status, and you can still even shorten that up more. I've added an alias into mine, so I can do git s, and it will bring up the same thing. And it's not too much, but it still presents the information in a more easy to read manner. Now, we go beyond telling you what branch you're on, however. So right now, let's go ahead and just do a git branch and then list and see which branches we have. We only have the master branch right now. And we can do get the remote branches that exist. So there are remote branches that do exist that we could pull down if we wanted to. But right now, let's go ahead and just create a file called deleteme.txt, I guess. And we'll touch that. And lo and behold, we have a new flag in our prompt. So let's check that out. So git status. And we can see that we have added one untracked file. So Git is unaware of this file. So at this point, let's go ahead and do what we would normally do, which is we need to add this into Git. So git add, and we'll just say all the changes. And now we have one file that is in fact being tracked. And so if we do a git status, we can see that it is pending being committed. So it's sitting there ready to be committed. And that's great. Now, if I were to actually change this file before I commit it, let's say I decide, oh wait, I forgot something. So I'm going to go ahead and open it up, and we'll just add, the intelligent stuff like that. And we'll go ahead and save that. And now we have another flag. Now we're displaying a delta. So if we do a git status now, now we'll see that there are some changes that have not been staged for a commit. So we would want to make sure that all of our changes are added in here. Now, even though those, 1 plus 1 in this case is not equal to 2, there's only one file, but one version of that file has been staged to commit and one version of that file has not. So we need to go ahead and add it in as well. So we're going to do a git add, and now it's all merged, and if we check it, we'll see that there is in fact only one file and it's ready to go. So now let's go ahead and commit that file. And we'll add a message that says add delete me file. And we'll commit it. Now, as you know, hopefully, if you're using Git, this is happening on my local machine. So it is now committed, but only on my local copy of Git. It actually needs to still be pushed back up to the origin master. So right now, this file is committed, but is I am in fact, if we check git status again, you can see that I have +1. I am ahead by 1 commit from the origin master. So let's go ahead and actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and add another file first, just so you can see this playing out. So we're going to do a touch delete me 2. And now, again, we have a flag that says that this isn't added. So let's go ahead and add that in. So git add. And now it's ready. So now we're going to do a git commit and add a message, add second. Okay, and now we have 2 commits. So now we are ahead by 2 from the master. So let's go ahead and push this. So git push, and everything is back to normal. So with all of that, I was able to track the status, and I did not actually have to keep writing git status over and over and over again. I shouldn't have to do that, and so that's what the prompt attempts to do. It also does some other cool stuff. So if I create a new branch, and we're going to call this one branch delete. Okay, and now I'm going to change over to it. Oh, and I'm able to, and I keep forgetting that I am, but I'm able to autocomplete. There's some cool add-ons to Git, which you can also add to your Bash profile, which will allow you to just be able to hit tab and auto-commit stuff in Git, and it's highly, I highly recommend it. It's very, very helpful and speeds development up a lot. Just all those little things I love. Anyway, so let's go ahead and check that branch out. You'll notice that it now updates to the branch delete branch, and that branch is red. So the reason that that branch is red is because it does not yet exist up on the server. So if I did a git branch remote list, then I can see that branch_delete does not in fact exist up on the server at all. So if I were to push it up, then that branch would go from red to being black. So I also want to talk about aliases just briefly. If you haven't messed with them, I'd highly recommend them. I get used to my little shortcuts, and so sometimes typing the actual Git commands, I mess up a little bit, but it's hard to not find a reason to do it. For example, I could write git checkout master, but instead I have a shortcut that just lets me do git master. And so my alias just jumps me directly into the master branch from wherever I am. Figure that's a fast way to do it. Or I can do git cd, would allow me to do a checkout essentially, because I think of them kind of as git directories. But the other thing that we have not shown is what happens when the master gets ahead of where you are, especially if you're collaborating with other folks. So I'm going to pause right here. I'm going to go off into my repository, make some changes, and then we'll see what happens. Okay, so I've made my changes on the Git repository, not from here, and I need to now. Let's say I come back to work. I'm ready to keep going. So the command to check and see if there's any changes up on the server is git fetch. So I'm going to fetch essentially a list of those changes. And sure enough, I am now one commit behind the main branch. And the reason I can tell that is because I have a -1, and then it's also fast forward enabled. So let me do a git status. So here is what is telling me that I am now my local branch is one behind the origin master, and that I can fast forward to it. Okay, so with that, I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I'm up to date. So I'm going to do a git pull now you can see that everything's merged and I'm ready to keep on working. Well, that's all, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any suggestions, feedback, improvements, something that we've missed that we should incorporate in here, some other valuable tool, by all means, leave it in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you and collaborate on this. In any case, keep on coding.